This episode is proudly supported by Westholme Australian Wagyu. Here's Stephen Sinclair from Jackson's on George.
In general, Westholme, I use several items on the menu from them. I always look to source products for their flavour. And with Westholme, I think they deliver that 100%. Australian Wagyu, in particular, Westholme is world class. Westholme is recognised for their quality all over the world. And then that's why, and when I tried it, and I absolutely love the flavour. This is, why I decided to put them on the menu.
Westholme believe that when nature leads, flavour follows. Learn more at westholme.com.
The flavor is amazing. We're the part of the Pharoah BBQ. We want to able to take all these flavors from moms, from grandmother, from like back in the days in Sudan, and just present it in a way people familiar with the food.
Hi everybody, it is Dani Valent here with you for another episode of Dirty Linen as we creep closer and closer to 700 episodes, and I'm still not sure what to do for our celebration, but together perhaps we can think of something. Let me know how we should mark that moment. Maybe it's only a big deal for me, but so many of you have been with me for the journey, and I suppose the main thing I'm feeling is gratitude for all the people who have trusted us to give their stories a platform. We certainly don't take it for granted. The guests and the listeners are as much a part of this show as any of the team that works on it. So thank you so much for being on the ride with me. Today's guest is Musa Algeed. Musa runs a food truck called Pharoah BBQ, and he is celebrating the food of his culture. Musa, welcome to Dirty Linen.
Thank you so much, Dani, and thank you for the opportunity and for the amazing work.
Well, thank you. I haven't had a chance to try Pharoah BBQ, but I am pretty excited to get my mouth around it. Give us a little intro to yourself and what you do.
My name is Musa, known by Moses. I'm from Sudan, from Khartoum. I've been in Australia for almost 8 years, and then decided to just bring a little bit of my culture and communicate easier through food. And that's what inspired to start a food truck.
Yeah, well, I reckon there's no better way to communicate than through food. It's definitely something that I'm so passionate about and have really built my life around. But let's be in the moment. You've just had such a busy couple of weeks. Tell us what you've been up to.
The daily to daily. So it's basic, as you're saying, we just literally enjoying the journey. We've been, this is our first time we did an event in Gold Coast in Queensland, which is amazing. We started from Sydney and back to you. We're trying the food. So hopefully soon next month, we're going to be in Melbourne as well. Back to the week, it's daily to daily basis. It's literally driving 3-4 days on the road, on and off, in between restocking and marinated. And it's just a little harder to plan when you are in a different state, when we are far from home, which is in this case in Sydney. It's been insane. So this first time we went to the Promised Land, which is the Afro Beat Festival, and it was amazing. And some of the artists there that I've been watching for a long time, and you get to see them perform live, and that's also a great opportunity for us to be able to share our food and also be part of that culture and just represent the amazing Africa.
Wow. I mean, it's so interesting. Like, some people would think a food truck is quite a limited business, like it's small, you only have so much capacity, but actually what you're showing is the limitlessness of it. You can travel interstate, you can take your food, all the stories you want to tell through flavour, you can take them on the road and take them to a new audience.
Definitely. It's actually more than food. It's more about the journey, more than the people you meet. You'll be able to talk like I did before back the days, which is the normal routine 9-to-5 job. And it's the food truck is not as what people think. It's just, especially when you are on a mission, especially when you be able to share what you want to achieve. You want to be able to softly enlighten people or to show them what's not just what your culture or not just what's about the food about. It's about the journey, who you meet, and the expectation. It will give you an opportunity to dream, and it's the daily to daily, but the opportunity is limitless. Like before, in normal job, you won't be able to see that beyond the food, not just people sharing what the food is about. But it's actually, we enjoyed being there, and the people, it's amazing. And wow, where are you guys from? And then when you get passionate about what people ask you, what's inspired you, or what sort of dish, and how you want to introduce this, and that's part of the things we enjoy and the most.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, tell me, like, what are some of the things that you love sharing with people about yourselves, about your journey?
I would love first about, if someone in regard to start your own business, it's very scary, especially when you leave the security of a job and then you just jump into the business. A lot of people, they will overthink it. It would be hard. Like, am I going to make it? Or there is no, what you truly need to believe in, like, how do you see the journey? Like, how do you just enjoy and you just trust the process? A lot of people, they say, oh, it's always better when you start your own business. It's always, but it's not that actually that easy without just believing in the process as you do. And you don't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. You just start the journey and just keep it genuine and just enjoy the ride. And it will take you places, and you will keep dreaming as you go. You have a vision, you have like a dream, you want to be like this much into one of the biggest food chains, or you want to be able to represent Africa in a sense, like you educate people. And this is the part that I enjoy the most. Like, while I'm in it, you get to learn. It's all different things, and it's just very it's overwhelming when you overthink it, but it's just take it easy. And I definitely like recommend, like, people, when you have something you think about it, you have anything in your mind, like you truly, let's say you're passionate about something, you have to do it to know where it's going to take you. But for something that for sure it will take you places more than you ever expected.
Wow, that's really inspiring. Well, tell us more about your journey. Like, you mentioned having a 9-to-5 job. Like, did you give something up to start the food truck?
It was weekends as the start. So I was keeping my job and just become a weekend. Then I got bored from the job, because when you work the 9-to-5 job, it's become routine. Like, there is nothing inspiring about your life. You keep doing the same thing again, and there is nothing for you. You capped by how much money you get. Let's say you get this much salary. You be limited even on dreams. You want to afford things, or you want to be able to contribute, like you want to be able to do more. You already knew how much you making, you already knew how much you getting paid, and you start planning your life based on this. Do you really want to do this for the next many years of your life, the next 20 years, the next 30 years? Like, God bless. And is that what you truly passionate about, or what do you want to do? Everything is getting, especially where we come from. I'm from Sudan, from Khartoum, so we contribute a lot to family. We help family. We have a lot of families behind, like where God bring us somewhere. So we blessed enough. We have to bless others to be able to. The blessing will continue, and this is part of their journey. Like, it's always like it's in a way like, everyone wants to be able to be financially independent. Everyone wants to be successful or make money, but it does come with the price, which is the price of commitment, the price of you trying to help others. If God blesses you, like, I hope to be blessed enough to be able to bless others, because I've been there and I've seen where I came from and the people that I was with. And this is journey with the normal 9-to-5 job. I won't be able to have these dreams. I won't be able to take care of the people that I love the most in a better way. That only comes with a vision, with the commitment, with the great team, with just enjoying the journey, and with starting your own business. It will never happen with the job.
So, Musa, tell us about Khartoum and about Sudan. Like, what do you wish people knew about where you've come from?
I wish people knew more about Sudan. Like, it's one of the richest country in Africa in regard to agriculture, like natural resources, and the amount of universities, the amount of the education in Sudan. A lot of people here, when I came to Australia, they don't know where Sudan is, or they don't know a lot of regions from Africa. Actually, it's a very educated like nation in regard to culture, in regard to background educational. Is just a habit, is just in the culture. Like the parents, they will push you. They have a lot of small study groups, like in regard to different passion. But unfortunately, like the government, the resources, it's not that easy for you to make it, for you to start something on your own. It's very dependent on the government system. It's not dependent on how hard you work or your dreams. And what people didn't know actually about the Sudan, like how rich actually the country is. Like the system is an issue, like the government, yes, it's an issue. It's been an issue for a long time. Like it's just a lot of tribes, a lot of like internal issues, which is what's created in a system, and it will make you capped. You won't be able to change if because it's going to be really hard. Even the people unite, you try your best, you feel like you're walking backwards.
What about the food culture? Like, what do you wish people knew about food in Sudan?
How amazing and tasty the food is. Like the other part of the reason what inspired me to be able to start like the Pharaoh BBQ, like our food, it's just so rich in flavor and so delicious, and we don't have that crazy spicy food, and we don't have that mild. It's just the flavor is balanced, but we don't have a lot of representation in regard to our culture and to our food. But if you could break the code and try to introduce Sudanese food or an African food in a modern way that people can relate or understand, that will be easier access, because not a lot of people, they prefer eating with their hands on, because the food in Sudan, like when you eat it could be a mess, like when you eat with your hands on, but you enjoy it. The flavor is amazing. Where the bottom, the Pharaoh BBQ, we want to able to take all these flavors from moms, from grandmother, from like back in the days in Sudan, and just present it in a way people familiar with the food. In terms of the sandwiches, you focus more into the presentation, how the flavor presented. And so that's a small part. What I'm doing is not even close to how tasty or amazing Sudanese food is. But I'm still in the process to trying that, like as you go, because it's not that easy to change people how used to eat this thing with their hands, and you want to be able to transform it in like a fast base where it be accessible to kids, to other culture, to other nation, to different nationalities. Once they trust that process, a lot of people, they have this expectation like African food is so spicy, like you're gonna have it, you're gonna get burned, and you can't. No. That's not the things. It's actually African food, and especially Sudanese food. It's very rich in flavor and spices, but it's not spicy.
So, what's some dishes? Like, let's break the code. Come on, tell me some of the traditional Sudanese dishes and the way that you're presenting them for an Australian audience.
Definitely. So, for example, the asida. So, asida, it's like a rich gravy. Like it's made of from like a minced beef, and that's part of it. And some people, they mince from minced lamb. So the sauces in the Sudanese dishes. So we eat it with the dough. Like that's how you eat it, and you're supposed to eat it with hand. So we use that sauces and we present it in a chicken wings. So we make a fusion. Everyone knows chicken wings. Everyone loves chicken wings. But we use those kind of traditional sauces to introduce it in a chicken wings, or the spices of the whole, like mullah, which is that's the mullah of the asid. The mullah is the sauce in Sudanese. So we introduce all of the small sauces, the mullah, into our flavors, into like a toast sandwich, into like a roll, into a normal sandwiches, into rolls, where people easier for them to eat it, to trust the process, because it looks like, oh, I don't have to get messy, I don't have to touch it with the hand. And then when they reach the flavor, wow, this is actually different. Like it has a lot of the Sudanese coriander, the Sudanese cumin, which is our cumin is not like the normal cumin we know on the market. So the Sudanese cumin is actually very green, and it has a very strong, like tasty taste to it, which is will change the whole flavor. And we use that as a prime ingredient from all of our dishes.
Oh, that sounds really, really good, like really lively and exciting. So, do you have to get some of those spices sent from Africa?
Yeah, of course. Like it's been like with just the import and export. A lot of people, they get spices from Africa because that's where a lot of spices comes from. But we try to keep it as traditional as much, especially with restocking, with import, with export, and that's what will make the flavor. And you get the way how they make it back at home, like you sit with like with your mom, how do you make this, and then you start doing testing, and then later on you start to modify the flavor, because it might not be, if a very strong flavor, it might not work to other people. That's why the Pharoah BBQ, like we tried our best, and so far the feedback we've been getting, like the flavor is balanced, like it's made to kids from different tastes. It just have that flavor, because a lot of people they don't like too much spices. It's just too much on the food. And this is what we've been the whole region. And when I started, even actually, we got people from different nationalities, like to try the food, like from a background, from an Asian food, from an European dish, from an African dish, like from just a normal Western, to have the taste. Wow, would you like this? Would you buy it? And that was like the feedback when we agreed on the flavor, and that's what made it balance.
Musa, in Khartoum, like what's the scene like? Would you get these dishes in a restaurant? Are they more home dishes? You know, are there food trucks there as well?
You get those food, you get it at home, but mainly you get it on the streets, like the agache, which is the way we do the meat, the sandy with the peanut butter. And peanut butter, it's like a prime dish. We use a lot of peanuts, like in regard to some of the dishes with the meat, with the sauces. And that's where the Pharoah BBQ sauces comes, like some with sesame, some with peanuts, and which is we have to be mindful of the allergies, and they all optional. Like if someone allergic to sesame or somebody allergic to peanuts, that's an optional. That's why we add it later without actually keeping in mind it's all not in just flavor. And that is how all this food, you can easily find it in Khartoum when you work like in a lot of markets, I would say, where you get to hands-on with this food. But those food, they haven't made it internationally. They haven't made it to a places where you can, I just want to go and get Sudanese food. Like it doesn't exist here, especially in the culture in Australia, compared to Thai food. It's been there for a long time, or Italian, but not a lot of people are aware of what actually Sudanese food is.
Yeah, I think you're so right. You know, I think we've had a lot of Ethiopian and Eritrean food. It's been around for a couple of decades now. And I think more and more there's, West African food. I recently went to a Congolese restaurant, which was really mind-opening, and I learned a little bit about Congolese food. But I think you're right. Sudanese food is still, it's on its way to being a bigger part of the food conversation in Australia. What's your experience like in telling these stories and bringing something new to the audience that comes to your food truck?
People, they just have this image. I face a lot about, is it spicy? Like people are afraid to try, but they immediately assume it's spicy. And there is nothing in my whole menu says spicy. But just people, just the thought they had an experience is very spicy. So at the start, it was very hard, like for me to be able, all the theme, like I just want you to try it once, and then if you like, you trust the flavor. And then it made me start like questioning, like focus on the presentation, the theme, how it looks like. We try our best to focus on just be more appealing for the look of the truck, attractive, someone like a vibe. We're trying to create a vibe around the truck, or the vibe with the people, like with all the team that we work together. We want to just reflect that energy. When you see that energy from far, you want to try, you want to be part of this, you want to join them, wow, what they are selling, wow, what's this is all about. In that case, it's become, you already break the ice, and it's become easier for people. Wow, can I try this? What do you recommend? Then when we did the menu, like no matter what you get, it's just the flavor is just right. And it took a lot of time and research behind, like this is the flavor. Of course, I want to introduce the whole Sudanese food, but I can't, in a way, I have to short it to make it short for people to be able to try it. It's just like a soft launch until later on people be familiar with it. Then you start introducing more like traditional like dishes, which is, it comes later in the journey when we be blessed enough, we have like that concept of a restaurant, and people will be able to experience more. They already trust us and they've been us from the start. And so far that's the challenge, being at the start, to just make people to try it. But once, like most of our customer now, they all return customer, and they enjoy the bar and they excited, and now they just trust whatever new dish. I will try that one, because they had it once and they just enjoy the flavor from the start, and then it's become more exciting.
Yeah, fantastic. So if you have any big scary dreams, your ultimate vision, like where would you like to take this?
I would love for it to be international. I would love to have that same name. Like, why? To be able to represent the culture, to be able to share it with many people, and to be able to international. It would be great representation for my culture, for Sudan, for Africa. And we need a lot of African food. We need a lot of African food to be able to make it internationally, to have the same presence as just a normal other um, culture which is close to Italian or Thai. Like, we want to be able to see in every region, like closer to. I would love to be able to become something like in a smaller scale, like the next it's African Guzman y Gomez, for example, what we have in Australia, and the bigger scale it could be as popular as KFC or McDonald's. But that takes a lot of team. But you can only dream to that extent because you will come closer, definitely, and while you're enjoying the journey.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, I really love to watch your journey, and I'm excited that you're coming to Melbourne soon. I mean, Musa, you mentioned that, in Sudan it's hard to, have the freedom or the opportunity to follow your dreams. What have you found the landscape like in Australia in terms of starting a business and breaking into the hospitality world?
Australia, it has so much potential. And this is what the reason when I came Australia, it's still as a whole country in terms of concept of business, of like culture, it's still like, it's quite, it's very accepting of other culture, but it's still a version in regard to actually more to bringing more to the table. And regarding to the platform, to the landscape, in there is easier. There is huge potential to be able to make a concept in Australia compared to back home, because it depends on like you be capped like how limitless or how like you dream or how you see the vision. You just go, you trust the process and you start educating up people. Actually, they very it's hard first to just accepting the food is not spicy, but once they see you like out there, they try, and there is huge accepting from the people. And we wouldn't be like what the Pharoah BBQ today when it was like 3 years ago, like without this like amazing like accepting an amazing opportunity that it's become it's made the whole process easier and easier.
Wow, it's great. I'm actually surprised that people are so worried about it being spicy because, I mean, I've got 6 different chili oils here at home and I will always add some chili to my dinner. So I'm surprised that that's been the biggest barrier for you.
Yeah, it's been really, I don't know how they just got that image with how spicy it is, but actually spices just give it the kick to the food. It's just give it more flavor. But well, I understand it, but I think in my opinion, I think with a little bit of like mild chili, you will enjoy the food more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about just adding a little bit of chili, so I'm not going to worry about it being too spicy when I come and see you. So Musa, you're obviously like a really committed and inspired business person. If somebody else had a little plan, maybe a little idea, something they wanted to get off the ground, what would you tell them about getting started?
I would tell them they shouldn't consult people without an experience, because what's make it hard sometimes you consult your friends, the people who's next to you, but your friends, they are on the same boat as you at the same stage. You say, oh, I'm thinking about this. Those friends around you or the people you talk to, they're gonna give you advices, but those advices, they're gonna make you even more scary because they are not valid. None of them has the right experience. I would say if you have something in mind, like you have an idea, want to do it, like honestly, just start like working on your idea. Just start without overthinking the process. You will learn as you go, but of course you have to know just the basic. This is what I want to do, what I want to sell, but you will only regret if you delay it, because there is no right time. The right time is now. When you start something in your brain, something in your mind all the time, you should start it. And then it will take you far and it will take you places. And especially if you do it with passion and you just left the immediate money aside, you want to be, let's say, financially independent. You want to be blessed to bless others, or you want to achieve something so you can inspire other people. When you start that journey, it will take you like really far. It will take you places you can't even imagine. It will make you dream even bigger. It will make your dream come closer to how you want to start the business, especially if you have passion for it. And in regarding to the advices, I never mix in term of the business like friendship with business. A lot of people, they take that, they don't get. I understand you want to be able with your friends, you want to grow together, and all the intention are pure and amazing, but no one has the same commitment as you do, because you only know yourself. Like, no one has the same drive, the same passion, no one has that patience. And business it gets rusty at the start, and it needs a lot of patience, and you truly need to believe in this is the vision. It will take you. When it gets dusted, like, you can't just ignore it. You can't just say, wow, this is not working anymore. Like, it doesn't work this way. You have to truly believe me and trust me with the whole concept of you starting that. You will only wish if you started sooner.
Oh, so good. I love the idea of being blessed so you can bless others. It's really, really beautiful. I'm going to definitely take that forward. Musa, when I come to Pharoah BBQ, what are you going to tell me to order? What should I eat?
The first question, no matter what you get, you won't be disappointed. The second, whether you get a lamb, we got lamb, chicken, beef, no matter whichever you prefer. And I would say, if you prefer the chicken, but you don't mind the lamb or the beef, take the one that you don't mind the most, which is your second choice. So you can know the flavor and you get to experience it.
Oh, that's a really high concept, but I'm into it. Okay. I have to work out what my second favorite is. And then is it like minced meat with a sauce and inside a sandwich? Is that what it is?
We have lamb. So the lamb, it's like a very lean lamb shoulder, and our wings with the traditional sauces and the mullah and all of the sauces. So if it's any allergy, but I would recommend definitely our almost being like top seller up to date. It's been the chicken wings and the ultimate. So the ultimate we made, it's a combination of the tradition marinated Sudanese lamb, the way we marinate the meat. That's always been our top seller up to date. And that has like another one, and the beef one as well. The way it's been balanced, the way the flavor it's been balanced, is not just overpowering. And that's, of course, I would love to get your feedback when we are in Melbourne, and hopefully you get the opportunity to try it.
Definitely. Well, I'll keep an eye on your socials and I'll share that with my community because, I've got to come down for the ultimate. Musa, thank you so much for sharing your story and your passion with us today. It's, really exciting to learn more about Sudanese food and to get excited and happy thinking about Pharoah BBQ.
No, thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you for the opportunity being part of your journey as well. And you're doing an amazing work, and a lot of people will actually need to hear this, and hopefully we'll be part of that to be able to inspire others to just follow what they're passionate about.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. Thank you. This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This